Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm showing you these brush pens from Ecoline and this sketchbook from Stifflex, and test the pens on watercolor and the sketchbook paper. The Ecoline range was created by the Dutch company Royal Talens. In this botanical set we have 10 colors which are made from concentrated watercolor ink. They also sell their ink in bottles. Sadly, you can't refill these pens. The colors are not light fast, which means any art you produce with these will need to be stored away from the sunlight. They can be used in combination with digital art. The range comes with 59 colors, and I also bought black, indigo and the blender, though I didn't quite understand what to do with it. Here I am swatching all the colors. I have sped up the process for you. The colors you can see here are as follows: forest green, carmine, pastel violet, pastel green, bronze green, fir green, deep yellow, sepia, spring green, black, indigo and sepia light. As these pens have watercolor ink, you can use them with water. Here I am showing you how this looks like on cold pressed paper. You can also blend them together. I thought I'd try the blender to blend these two colors, but it doesn't really work. When I later looked at the description on the package, it just says that the blender makes the color lighter. So that was a bit of a misunderstanding. Here I am trying to combine two colors by adding red to yellow by using the tips of the brushes. I added a little bit too much red though to really show a difference. It's best to play around with the colors and see what works. This is just a quick demonstration as to what you can do with these pens, which is of course hand lettering. I'm rubbish at lettering as I haven't practiced in a long time. Here I am mixing two colors together using a plastic tray. I only had this dark indigo as a blue, which is why the resulting color is rather dark. However, this plastic tray does work well as a mixing tool. My final experiment is simply wetting the paper and then adding the colors. As you can see, the colors behave like normal watercolors and start to spread. This beautiful Van Gogh sketchbook was made by the Italian company Stifflex. Let's have a look inside. The sketchbook is a size A5 and has 192 pages. This plastic ruler is also a useful bookmark, and you can add your details on the front page. Next, we have a lot of empty white pages. The pages are quite thick and the weight of the pages is 160 GSM. The surface texture is described as medium. The paper feels quite smooth. Then we have also dotted paper, and finally we have tracing paper that you can rip out at the perforated line. The sketchbook has a useful little back pocket where you can store loose paper items. Stifflex sells these sketchbooks with different cover art, and you often can get them on offer from websites such as Bromley's Art Supplies, where I bought both the sketchbook and the brush pens. Here I am trying one of the brush pens on the paper with water. As you can see, it doesn't really work on this paper and you can't move the ink. These Faber-Castell Pit brush pens are some of my favorite brush pens. They came with a scroller subscription box, which I have also reviewed on this channel. The colors are really juicy and they have two nibs, a fine liner and a brush nib. As you can see, they don't work with water either on this paper. And finally, I am trying an alcohol ink marker from Arteza. And as you can see, the ink bleeds through the paper. Alcohol ink markers are definitely not something you can use with this paper. Both brush pens, however, don't bleed through, and the paper is pretty safe to use with pencils, charcoal and color pencils. Here are a few sketches I created with the watercolor paper first. Where you can use these pens with water, you can't wait too long until you add the water to move the paint around and blend it, and I prefer to use watercolors instead of these brush pens. I also prefer watercolor pencils for sketching in this way. I think these pens work best for brush lettering or illustrations on smooth paper like the sketchbook. However, I have noticed that if you layer the paint too much, the paper starts to get a bit rough, so you have to be careful with any layering you do with these pens. These are nice brush pens with juicy colors which I wouldn't use for watercoloring though. But they are great for hand lettering and work well on smooth paper as in this sketchbook. I will use the Stifflex sketchbook, probably mostly with pencils and color pencils and for traveling. It's a beautiful sketchbook with some nice practical touches and plenty of pages. The tracing paper will also come in handy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have a question, please feel free to leave a comment and I try my best to answer it. And if you want to support this channel, you can do so by liking, sharing and subscribing. You can also donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Until next time.